Let me show you how to graph this data. So first thing you're going to need to do, you can look at the weather balloon map if you want, but we're going to open up weather balloon data. So I got that opened up here, and it's just in a Google Doc. I'm going to click one time and hit Control A to select all, and Control C to copy. Then you need to go into your Google Drive, and I'm in my aerospace folder right now. So we're going to create a new Google Sheets, and then I'm going to click the first cell and Control V to paste all that data in there. Next thing that I need to do is I'm going to call this weather balloon data. And I'm going to click the A column because all of this data, even though it looks like it's spread throughout, it's actually all in the A column because it came from a text document. So we're going to click the A on the A column and then go to data and split text to columns. So when I do that, it detects automatically. And how amazing was that? Look at that. Well, we want to graph altitude to temperature and altitude to pressure. So the things that I don't need this lock column. So I'm going to click that, right click and delete that. I don't need this H column, it's blank. Let me delete that. And now I just have the altitude and temperature. So now that I've gotten rid of the columns that I don't need, I also have some data in here that's just garbage. So you can see we got a bunch of zeros. When it started recording, it just kind of recorded some garbage data to start. So I'm going to get rid of that. So let me click on 2 and drag down to, it looks like for me it's column 10. So I'm going to go down to that point. I'm actually going to go a little further because you can see that the altitude here stays at 1600. Nothing is happening. It's because we started recording before the balloon actually left the ground, and then we launch it. So right around here, you can see the altitude increases. So I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to go down to about 84. And so since I hit shift, it will add all those values. So I have rows 2 to about 84. I'm going to right click and delete 2 to 84. And now I have data that's actually meaningful from the beginning. Now that we've gotten rid of our worthless data, let's graph altitude and pressure. So I'm going to click the G column and I'm going to control click the I column. That allows me to select what I want without the things in between. And then we're going to go to insert a chart. And it's going to set this thing up kind of in a crazy way here. I don't want a column chart, I want a line chart. But now we need to label this thing so that we can actually figure out what's going on in it. So I'm going to click Customize Chart and Axis Titles. And we're going to start with the chart title. So if you click this, you see you have 4 options. Make sure it's chart title. And I'm going to call this one, the left axis is pressure versus altitude on the bottom. So I'm going to call this pressure versus altitude. And now I'm going to go to the horizontal axis, and horizontal axis, that is my altitude. So altitude, and we need to put that, as you can see up in the chart behind, that's in meters. And then we'll go to vertical axis, and that is pressure, and that is in pascals. That's the unit of measurement that our tool gave us, is pascals. So at this point, we have things labeled. We have this graph, pressure versus altitude. In order to copy this, you're going to need to do a Shift Windows S, a screenshot. So Shift Windows S, and then it will allow me to screenshot. So I'm just going to make a copy or screenshot this thing here. Then I'm going to go over into Schoology, and this assignment's here now. I'm going to click Weather Balloon Assignment, and that's going to open up the Weather Balloon assignment. Make sure you follow the instructions. Go to File, make a copy, title this thing according to your class period. So 8th period or whatever you're in. Weather Balloon, last name, first name. That's how I'm going to find it. Now, since we've done a screenshot of our image, if we do Control V, it will paste that screenshot right there. How neat is that? I'm going to delete a few of these extra spaces here. And then you need to answer these questions. What's happening to pressure as altitude increases? So altitude is increasing, going to the right. Pressure is doing what it's doing here, but be specific about the data trend. Don't just tell me increases or decreases because there are certain things happening. Things aren't, in this case, not a straight line. So tell me a little bit more about it. Just give me a little bit more information there. And then number 2, why does the data look crazy right in the middle? What do you think was going on? So kind of pay attention to your cues. You could go back and watch that video again and see at the altitude, we know things about temperatures, all sorts of things happening. So what do you think happened in here? And this is just you being a critical thinker. You're going to do the same process for temperature versus altitude. There's a couple questions here as well. And when you're done, then click share in the top right corner, share it with me, and that will be your submission for this assignment.